while since I put out a WWE video talking about all the bullshit in the wrestling world, and given the fact that there's been a draft and a brand extension and all that crap that's going on this week, I figured that I should probably put out a video talking about my thoughts on the whole thing, sharing my viewpoint, and I'm curious to know what yours is. Just leave it in the comments down below on the YouTube channel or whatever. I'd like to have a discussion going about the current state of WWE and what we're looking at for the future of the company, because it's interesting times, real interesting times. Let's just jump right into it. The WWE draft, it's interesting. It's shaking things up. That's pretty much undeniable. Right off the bat, I'm worried, and maybe it's just because I'm a smart mark or whatever, but I feel like this whole new era that the WWE is doing right now is just pretty much nothing more than just an expression. It's just a motto. There really is no new era, because so far it is pretty much the same old shit. The shows are pretty much focused on things that aren't wrestling. And what you have to understand is that it is WWE, and it's all about entertainment, and it's about selling merchandise and appealing to young children and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a wrestling show, and the show just increasingly doesn't feel like wrestling anymore. I don't even watch Raw anymore. I don't have TV. So I only have the internet, because really everything is on the internet nowadays. You don't need the TV for anything, really, apart from shows that you're hooked on or whatever. I catch the highlights of Raw and SmackDown and stuff on YouTube, because I cut out all the bullshit from Raw, and I just watch what I need to know. Who won the matches, who's fighting with who, why they're fighting with so-and-so. Simple as that. I don't need 3 hours of shit shoved down my throat and commercials and crap. I just want to know what's going on. So that's what I do. So forgive me for not knowing really anything about what happened on Raw this week, or SmackDown for that matter, because I really don't. I caught highlights in passing on YouTube, and I caught the draft. I was watching a live stream from somebody, a different website, whatculture.com. I was watching them live stream their reactions to the draft. So that's how I got all my information on that. And then I picked up all this information here over the last couple of days about the backstage fallout and all these interesting little tidbits about the draft. But anyways, going back to my original point, the GMs and the commissioners and all that, it's tricky how we do that. With Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, I don't feel like we're going to get them shoved down our throat. I honestly feel like SmackDown is going to turn out to be the better show here. Raw, by having Mick Foley there as the general manager, and forgive me, Mick, but I feel like you've just taken one too many chair shots to the head, because you can barely remember your fucking lines on TV anymore. On Monday Night on Raw, you had Stephanie whispering into Mick's ear his lines because he forgot them pretty much. And that's not the first time that he's forgotten his lines. And shit, on the WWE Network right now, you can go watch the Edge and Christian show with Mick Foley on there, and Mick Foley doesn't even know really how to behave on camera during a TV show. He's like constantly like glancing over at the camera and glancing over for cue cards and stuff like that, and it's not part of the show. That's just, the man's not capable, I feel, of being on TV anymore. And really, the only damn reason, in my opinion, that he's been called up to be the GM or the commissioner or whatever of Raw is because he has a reality show coming out with his daughter. So you can be guaranteed that every week he's going to be plugging his fucking reality show with his daughter every week on Raw. And that's pretty much the whole damn reason that he's been drafted up as the Raw commissioner, or SmackDown, the Raw commissioner, or no, sorry, the Raw GM. So unfortunately, I feel like that's all we're going to get from Raw is Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley bickering amongst each other. And I really feel like, as far as the authority figures go, SmackDown's going to turn out to be the better show. Which is a damn shame, because Monday Night Raw has some pretty good talent. They have Enzo and Cass. They have Cesaro. They have Finn Balor now. And then, of course, they have Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and all that. So they have a lot of good people on Raw. I'm just really, really, really worried that Raw is going to be watered down because of who's running it. Speaking of Cesaro, did you all catch the YouTube interview that Cesaro gave after SmackDown on Tuesday night? If you haven't, go to YouTube right now. Go to WWE's YouTube right now. Pause this video. Do the pause. I think it's like over here. Pause it. Go watch that, and then come back. I'll be waiting. Yeah. Junk mail. Junk mail. Oh, you're back. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So did you watch it? That's a shoot promo. You haven't seen too many of them in a long time. That was real. That was 100% real. So that was Cesaro's thoughts and feelings. That was not bullshit. And you can say, well, do you know? Well, do you really know? You know? Yeah, I really know. I know. Dave Meltzer, a very credited wrestling reporter, came out and said that, yes, that was a shoot promo or interview, whatever, that he gave. Cesaro was not happy about being drafted to Raw, and I think a lot of other people are not happy as well. Sasha Banks has also come out and said she's not happy about being drafted to Raw because she felt, in her own opinion, that SmackDown was going to be the better wrestling show. Given that she's been drafted to Raw, she'll be able to continue her feud with Charlotte, but still, a lot of people aren't happy. Speaking of people who probably aren't happy, we have Paige and Del Rio. In real life, they are a couple, believe it or not. It's true. They've been split up now. I think Paige is on SmackDown and Del Rio's on Raw, or might be the other way around. I don't know. Same thing with Big Cass and Carmella. Carmella got called up to SmackDown, which is great. Enzo and Cass are on Raw. It's two real-life couples that are really going to have to figure out how they're going to keep their relationship going when two completely different travel schedules and things like that. I don't want to say that these drafts have been done intentional, but I really do believe that this draft was a shoot. Almost every single person in NXT did not know that they were getting drafted. I can guarantee you Finn Balor probably did. But you can go on YouTube right now and look at the live reactions of Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss and American Alpha. All those guys and girls did not know that they were getting drafted. Mojo Rawley did not know he was getting drafted, called up. I feel like most of the roster did not really know as of Tuesday where they were going. And that's crazy. That really begs the question, does WWE Creative really know what the fuck they're doing? Are they just making it up week to week? Are they just, every Monday night, they show up to Raw and just, let's break up the Vaudevillains. Well, didn't we call them up last week? Fuck it! Let's just break them up. Like, I don't see where the company is going creatively. It doesn't make any sense. They have good things going, though, like the Cruiserweight Classic right now. Let's talk about that. You've been watching the Cruiserweight Classic? If you haven't, you really fucking should. Buy the WWE Network just to watch the Cruiserweight Classic. Some of the best matches outside of NXT that I've seen in a long time in mainstream wrestling. That mainstream wrestling. We're not talking about New Japan. We're not talking about the Indies. We're not talking about TNA, Ring of Honor, whatever. As far as WWE-owned product goes, some of the best damn matches I've ever seen, and in recent times at least. Phenomenal stuff going on over there. I highly recommend you watch it. But with that being said, the Cruiserweight division being brought up to, I think it's Raw, maybe SmackDown, I'm not sure. That's going to be really cool. I'm anticipating that what's going to happen is after the Cruiserweight Classic is over, the champion will, debut on that specific show, and then you'll have a Cruiserweight division. I'm hoping that they hire a lot of these guys out of the Cruiserweight Classic, because, for instance, just so far, Grand Metalik, amazing competitor. Alejandro Saiz, that was I think the very first match on first episode of the Cruiserweight Classic, and holy shit, you could not have picked a better match to kick it off of. Alejandro Saiz from Chile, I think he dropped something like 25 pounds or something to compete in this tournament. Amazing work that this guy put in. His facial expressions were just great. What a hell of a seller. That was a great match there. Ho Loon versus Daivari, not the Daivari from the past, but his brother or cousin or something like that. Ho had a lot of work to do. Really, you could tell he wasn't ready for the big times. He didn't seem to sell as well as I would expect someone to be in a prestigious tournament such as this, especially going up against somebody like Daivari, who's traveled all over the world and competed. But nevertheless, Ho Ho Lun has got a lot of potential in the guy. A lot of potential. Clement Petuo, I'm sorry, I don't speak French. He took on Cedric Alexander, which was a very, very entertaining match right there. Cedric wound up getting the victory, and unfortunately for him, next week he's going to be taking on freaking Kota Ibushi. He took on Sean Maluta, which is a member of the Samoan dynasty, and fucking hell of a match those two guys had. In case you don't know who Kota Ibushi is, he's very, very well known across the world and very highly respected in Japan. Most of the guys that you watch on TV right now, like Finn Balor, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, all these guys have competed against Kota Ibushi over in Japan. And I can almost guarantee you that he's probably going to be picked up by WWE and brought into the Cruiserweight division. Very skilled wrestler. But again, his selling wasn't really up to par for me, but you know, he comes from a different company, different wrestling standards over there, you know. And then episode 2 that just came on a couple days ago, we had Tajiri. Y'all remember Tajiri? Yeah, Japanese buzzsaw motherfucker. ECW. We had Tajiri taking on a guy named Damian Slater, who gave him a hell of a good match. Damian Slater out of Australia, I think. Yeah, out of Australia, put on a really good show, but of course Tajiri getting the victory. T.J. Perkins versus the Mac. The Mac is a dancing German, urban German is what he went by, which is just, you almost think that Vince McMahon made that up. But those guys put on a good match, and really all these guys put on a good match. I should stop saying that because great matches. Mustafa Ali versus Lince Dorado. Holy shit! Inverted 450 splash, I believe, or something like that. That's all I gotta say. Watch that match. Inverted 450 splash. What is that? What? Is that even a thing? It is. And then that's last but not least, Akira Tozawa versus Kenneth Johnson. Kind of a rough match, I thought. Probably the weakest match out of the whole thing so far. Kenneth Johnson just kind of seemed lost. Like I guess varying styles, not familiar with working with the guy. You know, Kenneth Johnson just seemed really lost in that match. But Akira picking up the win. So yeah, that's my little recap of the Cruiserweight Classic. What else do I have from the draft? I have something else here. Oh, the Balor Club. That's right. Could we be seeing the birth of the Balor Club? That's something that I'm really looking forward to because, as you may or may not know, the club was split up in the draft. AJ Styles went to SmackDown. And Anderson and Gallows stayed on Raw. Balor's been drafted to Raw. So hopefully we're going to see some Balor Club action. Who they're going to be feuding with, I don't know. But maybe it's going to be beat up John Cena. No, John Cena, I think, went to SmackDown. I don't know. That's another thing. It's not going to be beat up John Cena Day anymore. That's disappointing. That's pretty much it. The only other really couple notes I have is that Eva fucking Marie got drafted to SmackDown, but no Bayley. I understand that Bayley's the heart and soul of NXT, and if you take Bayley out of NXT, really, what do you got? But Eva Marie? You drafted Eva fucking Marie over Bayley. Says something. And then the Shining Stars got drafted. The Ascension got drafted. The Ascension at least has been on TV somewhat recently, but the Shining Stars, I will pay you $5 fucking if you can tell me who is on the Shining Stars tag team. Go ahead. Who are the Shining Stars? What are their names? Exactly. They got drafted. You know who didn't get drafted? Heath Slater. And you can talk shit on Heath Slater all you fucking want. You can talk shit on the Social Outcasts all you fucking want. I don't care. Heath Slater's a worker. That man will go out there and do his fucking job day in and day out and do his job well. Heath Slater doesn't get drafted. And this draft is apparently supposed to mean something, considering that it was pretty much concocted at the last fucking minute. I really don't think they put any thought into the damn draft at all. But Heath Slater didn't get drafted. One of the best workers in the company. But you draft the fucking Shining Stars, who aren't even on the active roster, for fuck's sake. You draft the Big Show. No offense to Paul White, but what the fuck? So that's pretty much it for my recap of this week's events in wrestling. Sunday we have Battleground. God, I don't even know what to say about that. It's going to be an interesting show. I cannot wait for the Boo Fest. That's going to be Roman Reigns' entrance. That's really all I'm watching Battleground for. Is just the Boo Fest. That's going to be Roman Reigns' entrance. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like down below if you liked it. Comment if you got a comment or question for me and all that jazz. And as always, have fun doing whatever it is you're doing. Do it to the best of your ability. And I'll see you when I see you. Take care.